We're going to fight hard each and every day, no matter what hit pieces come our way, no matter who tries to take us down. We're going to fight, fight, fight.
The story of America is the story of an adventure that began with deep faith, big dreams, and humble beginnings.
At certain times when it seemed that there was just no hope, those are the times that turned out to be the best.
Never, ever give up. America is beginning a new chapter.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to MAGA versus the world. Awesome weekend this weekend. So we're going to go over it, man. Lots of festivities, lots of kick-ass America 250 freedom going on. We've been waiting for this for a while. Trump was talking about this pretty much since the beginning of his run for his second reelection. I don't blame him. And this is great, man. I remember growing up and hearing about the bicentennial from my parents a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a big thing in New York that happened where a lot of different countries all brought their ships into the harbor, and it was this big event. Bicentennial. And I can't believe now here we are at the 250th, quarter of a millennium. America has been a country, and it's been awesome. This weekend was freaking great.
Yeah, it was so American. It was so awesome. I'm not one that normally watches fighting, as Brad knows, but I will tell you, I enjoyed it.
Going on.
Yeah, I was like, I enjoyed it. I must say, I enjoyed it. But I was like, yeah, when they got pretty intense, some of the that guy that got so bloodied up, I couldn't believe it. The announcers kept on going, his face. I'm like, you're really getting in his head now.
Boy. He busted his face up, man. Yeah, that was the main event. And yeah, it was great. I haven't watched much sports or UFC in a while, man. The Great Awakening has kind of taken my life in a much different path, but it was just refreshing to hang out, watch some cool stuff. And again, it was all weekend long, so we'll go into it. There was also side stuff, which I consider Americana, going on with the Knicks NBA champions for the first time since Clyde Frazier, Mr. Cool, and freaking 73. I think before that was 70, 71 or 70. I think it was 70. And so that's been, 53 years. I'm a lifelong Knicks fan. That was awesome, too. And then we had the Nitro Circus was there. They had the ceremonial weigh-ins, are always fun in general, but just to have them at the Ellipse on the big stage, there's just epicness there. So it was a really cool weekend. And I think this is what Trump is bringing back in general to America, just loving life in general. Yeah. And also, before we get into it, shout out to Red Pill. I see he rated the stream. We love you, brother. And you're the man. And what up, everybody? See a lot of cool people kind of
rock and roll patriots.
Come on in, hanging out, and we're going to have a fun one today.
Yeah, so guys, welcome. Please remember to give Brad thumbs up for sure. Subscribe to him if you don't. And, follow us on X if you guys don't, because we usually put a lot of good content out there. And I think we will be hopefully going over some of those posts that you did, Brad, in a little bit.
Yeah.
But so guys.
I'll tell you what, before we get into it, we'll do a quick commercial here, pay the bills. And again, just jam-packed weekend, and it's going to be freaking awesome. And we hear a lot about crypto, but the part that most people miss is that crypto was created so you can actually own and control your money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers or limiting access, you're in control. And if you ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem. Now fast forward to today. Everyone's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. That's exactly why I use Crypto Wallet. It takes all of that complexity and makes it simple. It's the Rumble wallet. You choose what you want: Bitcoin dollar-backed stable coins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. It's not a complicated setup. It connects you with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card, debit card, or bank and be up and running in minutes. Once you've set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators, like me and Abby, directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. It's a great deal. We've had many try it out on this very show, and I think you'll like it. But I think what you're going to like more is, should we go into... I want to play some of the Nitro Circus stuff.
Do it.
I thought that was some of the coolest things ever.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's pull this up right here. Okay, so this was during the day, right? Saturday was the ceremonial weigh-in. They always do that before UFC fights. And they had this, and it's funny, there was a End Wokeness, I think, said it. It was like, imagine having to pretend to be upset about this, because of course anything that happens on in the Trump sphere, people on the left are like, oh my God, I can't believe it. What about this totally unrelated thing? It's like they have these weird arguments. They can't just chill and enjoy something. And if there was ever anything to chill and simply enjoy, it was this. Look at that. This is a POV.
Oh my gosh!
What a rush. Can you imagine what it would feel like to be in the air doing that? This is first backflip on the White House lawn.
Yes.
This is a cool... Yeah, all right, this is a cool one right here. I just love, and this is my feeling during the fights too, is I love the background of the freaking White House.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so many of these things. Societies, and Red Pill also raiding us over on pills. What's up? Love pills.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you for that, Red Pill. Look at that, dude. What a party, dude. It was just a party at the White House all weekend, really, for about a year and a half now.
Yeah, right?
Certainly all weekend.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
That has to be the ultimate adrenaline rush right there, man.
Oh. And look at the military men down below. This is so freaking cool. Oh,
this page
it just makes
in general,
you so proud to be American.
So I know things like this exist. I didn't know there was an actual place called Nitro Circus, and they do this all over the world.
Yeah.
And
Let's
they're
go.
pretty badass.
Hat tip
We're
to
literally
Nitro
jumping on the
Circus.
south lawn of the White House.
Woo!
We are literally jumping on the south lawn of the White House.
Suited and booted, baby. We're feeling great. Got to get out there and throw down right now, so it should be good.
Yeah.
Epic, dude. What a cool advertisement too, if you're in Nitro Circus.
Right. Trump's all about just making everything that's American back. Remember how I was saying he's like an artistic president? He's wanting anything and everything. Art, music, fighting, bikes. I mean, like, it doesn't matter. Let's just go. Like, and I love it. That's the American way. Freaking jets, like eagles. The whole package.
Pure freaking epicness, without a doubt.
All right. So this was, let's pull up my tab here. I'm going to jump into this. You cool? This is
oh yeah.
Dan's
was
giving
this the weigh-in? Okay, yeah, this is cool.
This is just, it doesn't show the, do you have some of that, by the way?
Well,
or not?
Go with this. No,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this was by Dan Scavino. He put this out.
Yeah, okay.
This was during the weigh-in. I think it was before the guys came out and they, filmed them and did the official thing. And the crowd was out there cheering and everything, right? And I had been watching it before. And then they bring out the bald eagle. Check this out.
I love it.
I don't know if I could find it, but he swoops for a long time over the people. Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, this is basically like an open air festival. This reminds me of, I think the one that I was at that was probably the biggest ever was Riot Fest in Chicago in like 16, something like that, 16, 17. Whenever Danzig reunited with the Misfits, we were like, whoa, and we flew out there.
Please explain, Brad. I don't know what Riot Fest is. Is this like an annual thing?
A huge concert. Yeah, I believe it's annual over in Chicago, and they'll have, this had 3 stages going. And there's just bands constantly. There's the main stage and there's 2 sub stages. And when you're there, I remember when Andrew WK was going, I was just like looking in the back. And we were like right by the stage, right? Because I'm obsessed with Andrew WK. And I looked behind me and there was a billion people. And I'm going to tell you, if you're claustrophobic, that is not the place for you. I'm not really claustrophobic, but even I was looking back, was like, oh shit. If something happens, you ain't going nowhere. So. But it was cool. That's what that looks like. That looks like one of those festivals. And that was at the White House lawn. And then obviously they had the seats, ringside seats for the UFC. They, again, the weigh-in was cool. I think that was the coolest part with the Eagle, to be honest.
Yes.
And then also, as a lifelong Knicks fan, I got to say, the freaking Knicks. I gave up this hope a long time ago, guys. If anyone likes basketball out there, you understand why. But I never thought I'd see a Knicks playoff championship. Now, obviously, it didn't hit the way it probably would have hit at most points in my life because I haven't been watching this team. Like I said, I haven't really been watching sports the last, maybe not the whole Great Awakening, but maybe the last 5 to 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of started waning when Kaepernick took the knee over there in San Francisco. And then it was just, it's like all sports kind of started getting corroded with all this liberal woke mind virus. And they all started Black Lives Matter stuff and things like that. And I just started being like, well, you know what? I waste a lot of time investing in these teams and everything and watching sports and going to this. And, I want to take that time and research what's actually going on. I want to understand these. I was deep in the Q drops and stuff. And that changed my life. So it didn't hit as hard as it probably would have if I was familiar with this team, but it still hit hard because I'm a lifelong Knicks fan. And up to just however many years ago, I was obsessively watching throughout my whole life, right? And after the run in the 90s, things just went south. I'll just make this quick because I know not a lot of people here give 2 shits about the NBA.
No, I love it. But let's hear it.
The 90s, right? Even the 80s, right? With Ewing and stuff. And you got to the 90s with like Allen Houston and freaking Marcus Camby and all these and Charles Oakley. And there was all these ups and downs. There was always a chance, right? They went to the NBA, the 94 finals. They went to the 99 finals. And then after that, it was just this long saga of never getting back there. When Amari Stoudemire, when they got him, that started bringing like a culture of winning. But then they brought in Carmelo Anthony to complement him. And for some reason, it just didn't work. And the basketball player, Carmelo Anthony, even before that, there was a run with Sprewell and stuff. And it was just like everything they tried just didn't work. And then they were like the shot to the bottom to get the draft picks. And that just kind of brings a culture of losing.
Yeah.
They brought in Phil Jackson and then they got Porzingis and they were going to do the triangle and that started working. And until then, all of a sudden, they don't give anything any time. And then they're getting rid of Jackson. They traded Porzingis. And that did wind up being the right move. But anyway, it's been a long saga.
Sounds complicated.
Trying to pull on the fly off my head. And just to see this, and I've been looking into this team a little bit now, and it seems like there is this culture. It kind of feels like a college atmosphere culture, which I didn't watch much college basketball. My dad was a big college basketball fan, and there is this guy Brunson.
He kicked butt.
Championships with Villanova. They got two of his buddies on the team who were with that championship. His dad is on the coaching staff. So to me, that feels like a kind of a college atmosphere win right there. And they've been calling them the Nova Knicks. I've been just trying to catch up since watching it, but watching them win game 4 and 5 was just incredible. This is right here. This is the moment. This is just like
4-point lead. Here comes Fox. 5 seconds remaining. Fox to Wemby. Wemby tries a three, puts it up off the mark.
Doesn't
and
even matter
another
if he
rebound.
makes
It's over. It's over.
I can't even believe it.
This is not.
Yeah.
Long wait has ended. Go ahead and try after 53.
I'm crying. The woman over there's crying.
It's like
Finally, NBA champions.
all my teams. I don't watch hockey much, but all my teams, like I watched 2 Giants championships, right? Being the freaking Patriots. That was amazing. As growing up, I watched all the Yankee championships, 96, 98, 99, 2000, almost in 2001. They should have won 2001. Then again, 2009. And so I've gotten to see all that. I never thought I'd get to see a Knicks championship. And again, probably didn't hit as hard as it would have if I was, actively invested in this season and this team. But it was just awesome. This was an awesome moment from game 4. And this is the two together. They work as the lead because here it is. San Antonio does the same thing. They're going to let the Knicks take the shot. They're not up by 4, but hoping that they win. Ahead with 5 seconds.
You're sharing the wrong screen.
1 second. That's how they won game 4. And then game 5, complete epicness. And I really like this team. They were exciting to watch. They did start off with double digit losses in the first round of the first quarter of every game. They started off with a double digit deficit, which is wild. That second game, I think it went up to 29 points at one point. So you basically lost that. And they didn't, and they won, and they shot back. And it's funny because I feel bad because the one game Trump went to, they did lose. So that sucks they didn't get to see a win. Yes. But that is cool that he still went. Hochul, the New York governor, was trying to rip Trump because he was saying, "Oh, that's cool. They're going to the finals right before. Maybe I'll go to a game." And she's like, "I'd ask him to name the 1993 championship team roster because he don't know." Kind of saying Trump don't know. Meanwhile, she don't know. First of all, it was the 94 finals, or you could argue it's the 93-94 team. But it's kind of like we're talking about the finals. We're talking about the year that the finals are. So it's the 94 finals, and they lost, first of all. So it's like, what are you talking about? And people were ripping her all week. And then Trump always was showing up at Knicks games growing up. So, he definitely knows Knicks more than you. Here's a quick breakdown I made about it. Just having some fun with our friend Kathy Hochul, who's retarded.
So are you going to the Knicks game next week?
No, I was invited to I was going to go on Wednesday, but they closed it out very quickly. They're great. And Jim Dolan's a great guy. He's, as you know, owns and in charge of Madison Square Garden. He's having a good year. Boy, what a team. I think I'll be going to one of the games. I was invited by numerous people and Jim, and I think I'll be going. It's great to see it.
President Trump, on election fraud, President Trump.
The Knicks have really suffered for years. What's your prediction? They're doing right now.
Okay, so first off, freaking awesome. The Knicks are going to the NBA Finals. And second of all, this crazy bitch, Governor Hochul, who's probably never watched a single game of anything other than maybe croquet, had this to say when asked about President Trump's reaction.
What do you think of him saying he's a lifelong Knicks fan? I think that's how the Times reported it.
I asked him to name the starting lineup from 1993 championship team and see how he does.
Oh my God, dude. That has to be the worst self-own in human history. This has not gone unnoticed. First of all, as Alex Lace has pointed out here, there was no 1993 championship team. The Knicks haven't won a championship since 73 with one Walt Clyde Frazier, Mr. Cool. But even worse is that her press office actually tried to play this off. Man, these people have no shame. What she's thinking of is the 94 team who played the Rockets, and they're not even the last ones. The last team was 99 with Sprewell and Houston. Well, the internet's been having a field day with it. Here's President Trump being interviewed at a game where Charles Oakley pretty much falls in his lap.
162 late, the last time diving in the arms of Donald Trump. Gates, what I did? Well, I never realized how big he was until I was holding him. This was not pretty. You take a hard hit? A little bit of a hit, but he's great. He's a good guy. I know him, so it's okay. What do you think of the Knicks comeback here? I think they're doing great. It's a great game. All right, don't get hurt. Have a good time. Let's go back to Vernon Dock.
Weird, I'm looking for Hochul in the background. I don't see her anywhere. I wonder if she knew any of the Knicks. Here's from Bobby Levy. This says, Hochul ever drained a free throw with any Knicks players? Shockingly, I'm going to guess no. Yeah, Donald Trump doesn't know anything about the Knicks. Oh, what do we have here? The famous Trump sitting courtside with JFK Jr. pick. Wonder where they were. Oh, they're at a Knicks game playing the Pacers in 99. The actual last year they went to the finals. And a preview of what wound up being the Eastern Conference Finals about 2 months later. And finally, what do we have here? An article from the New York Times, published just a few days before the Knicks started their last finals appearance, where it states, there is something remarkably New York about this whole story, a make-it-anywhere quality to the young, scrappy team whose fans include Spike Lee and Donald Trump. Of all the different famous Knicks fans the New York Times could have picked out of the crowd, because Lord knows it is the place to be, there's always celebrities at the Garden watching the Knicks, no matter how good or how bad they're doing. They decided to put Donald Trump as 50% of the Knicks celebrity fan base. I'm sure it's nothing, though. This lunatic, she's the real Knicks fan.
Right now we have, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is.
Oh, DD, oh, what it is, oh, DD.
Also, just for the record, Donald Trump was actually at the 94 NBA Finals.
The staff doing its research, obviously, Matt. I'm just emotionally crushed by this, it should be pointed out.
43.
It's your good friend Donald Trump, Matt.
Donald, yes. My business partner.
What does this say, walk on? It's very nice. Marla, thank you very much. Thank you.
Were you around for the last 3
Thank you. I told you never to bother me during the telecast. Very, very embarrassing. Thank you. Very nice. The staff very well prepared. Well, as we were saying in talking about NBA basketball, Matt, the Knicks making a run at the Houston Rockets. The Rockets shooting after the good start.
I asked him to name the starting lineup from 1993 championship team.
That was good.
With the fact that he was actually at the 94 Finals at the Garden is gold. Pure gold.
Yeah. Bravo, man. That's insane.
Yeah, so that was epic on Saturday. And then Sunday. Dude, Sunday was a party for America. That was some cool shit. And UFC is another one. Again, I haven't watched it. UFC is longer. I haven't watched probably 10, 15 years steadily. I see him here and there. But I remember in the 90s when it first started with like Hoist Gracie and Tank Abbott and all this stuff. My cousin Timbo, he's the first person who showed us it, like right off the bat. It was a little different then. Now everyone has like a little bit of every fighting style, right? Back then it was like, here is judo guy versus, ballroom boxer guy. And it was more just seeing what different styles fought with each other, and it was wild for that reason. And people learned quickly about Brazilian jiu-jitsu through Gracie
Oh,
and the Gracie family.
dude. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was but I've always liked UFC, and these fights, these were some of the best I ever seen. I don't know if that was just the gods shining down on America, right? Or what. But the first fight was freaking great, on their feet the whole time, and then just went through it. They were all, that's what people want to see. They want to see a brawl, right? And they don't want to see this technical, jiu-jitsu wrestling stuff, which is great. And actually, when you're in a real fight, that's probably the most valuable stuff you could have. But it was awesome.
Yeah, I did notice they broke that up when they were doing that for a little bit and kind of got them back on their feet. So that was kind of cool.
Well, not always. Like if they're constantly like doing stuff, they'll let it go. But I think for that one time, yeah, they saw that it was, if it gets too like stagnant or inactive, they will break that up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I really, one of the fights I enjoyed was the two big guys. Was it the heavyweights? Is that what that's called? Remember at the end, these guys were hardcore, by the way. Both of them, you would not even, you wouldn't even survive a second. But these guys, like at the end, they were just like, and they were almost like falling over because their weight and their muscle, but they were like so out of it because they both took massive hits to the head. And it was so intense to watch, coming from my perspective, but I freaking enjoyed it because I was like, yeah, this is like the battles, man. Like, let's bring it back. Some good old fashioned fighting, Did you want me to?
That was the Hokett Lewis fight. Yeah, that was wild.
So I have a bunch of things lined up, kind of in order of how it went down.
Let's go through it, man, because that was pretty epic day.
All right. So some of the actual fighting we can't show, but we do have quite a bit of clips of like before and after, and some really great clips from the fighters themselves that I was able to capture. So this is how it started out, and this just gave me chills. Check this out.
House and walking out from the Roosevelt room, and I think Gaethje walked out from the Oval Office.
Yes, the two fighters in the end walked out of the Oval Office, and I think that was also one that they kind of didn't want people playing. So that happened, right? So Trump came out, and then I have multiple angles of this, of the jets flying over. It was unbelievable.
Oh, this was so cool.
This is what the White House put out. And so I got a different angle here I was able to find. And this is by the Associated Press. And this is kind of what it looked like out, in the farther from the event. Oh, look at the light. So they
So they're all the way in the back. Whoa.
Let's go.
This is such perfect formation.
Damn.
That's cool.
That makes you so proud to be an American. I absolutely love that. All right. So now, all right. This is when they opened up and they did the national anthem.
Yeah,
which is a clip of it. What an amazing event. Like I'm sitting there like feeling so patriotic in my heart. And it's funny, Brad knows I keep on going, but I don't want to go there for the 4th of July. It's like, well, Brad's right. He's like, you'll be able to see all the best shots and everything from the TV. I'm like, okay, you're right. We're all the way in Alaska. That'd be a heck of a trip. I think you're muted.
That was Zach Brown Band that was singing, and man, it sang so great. That's a hard song to sing. And especially coming from a band that plays instruments. I was a little shocked, but I guess I shouldn't be. I know them a little bit. I'm not super familiar, but I know I've liked everything I've heard over the years. They've been around for a while. And I think that's really cool that they had the courage to do it, because obviously you're going to get some criticism. And that's why all the heavy criticism has gotten a few people. Poison, Brett Michaels from Poison, I know he ducked out. There were one or two others who were signed up and then they didn't last minute. And I think
are you serious?
It's super lame, but they really do make it like they're going to ruin your life. Isn't that so terrible that you can't even be in an American festival? But they did so great. And yeah, I know what you're saying. Listen, being in DC on the 4th of July is going to be awesome. And it's going to be, it'll be totally different, right? Because it'll be a festival. You'll be there. There'll be a party. You probably won't even see half of what happens just because you're going to be there like hanging out and doing all these different things. But the second best thing would be watching it from where we are, and you'll see all the coverage and they'll get all the best shots and all that stuff. So we're still going to enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Knock my socks off says I watched the entire event on USA Today. Only saw ankles, thighs, and butts in ring and family.
That's funny.
Right. I get it. Right. So it is nice. It is nice to watch it from the screen for sure. So then, like I said, there was a lot of fighters that had come out. It was great to watch it. And there was some, I think, like, it was symbolic how the first fighters came from the bottom and the second fighters came from a little higher up in the White House, and they came down. Oh, yeah. And the highest fighters for the ultimate gold came from the Oval Office. And I loved that. I thought there was some definite symbolic meaning to that. And then one other thing that was so refreshing is these guys, when they would win, most of them would give all glory to Jesus, 100%. Yes. And even if they were from different countries, from France, from Brazil, they were like, Jesus, 100% the way. So this was one of the fighters, and I'm sorry, I don't have his name, but this is what he said as soon as he won.
I'll tell you his name after.
Gave me chills. Yeah. Oh, do you know? Okay. No,
that was Ruffy. He's Brazilian. You know what I want to see? One day I would love to see with my own eyes the Christ Redeemer statue in Brazil. That's
it would
cool,
be
man. I think you could see it from almost anywhere because it's just at like the highest spot.
Then you mean the one where his arms are out?
Yeah, that's in Brazil. Yeah,
I would so do that. Yeah, that would be an amazing thing. Oh yes, we're gonna save this one for later. All right, so then I have this, and Rapid Response put this out. The Year of the Patriots. Let's make this. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't read that beforehand. I didn't read the second part. It says, Justin Gagey makes Ilya Tapura quit on his stool. So that's what happened there. They were fighting. I think this was the third time they did a break, I think.
Well, they almost quit before the last round. They actually had not a bad fourth round for it, but like, dude, he was just boxing his face in for the entire second and third round.
Yeah.
Like, just busted up. He couldn't even see. Well, at one point, the ring doctor came over and did that, and he don't even look, and he's trying to say, no, all right, it's over, and then he's like, no, and then he was the champ, so usually the champ has a little more say, and he did it again. He did make sure to follow it a little better, but dude, when you lose your sight in fighting, that's bad. You can't see those. You see that Gaethje was started hitting them with those low right kicks, started popping them in the right, because it's like he's lost all his peripheral here. Or whether he can see a little of that eye or not, your peripheral's gone when that happens, when you start puffing up. So that was bad. And then I think you do hear his brother say after the fourth round, all right, we're going to finish this. And then they say no. So someone, either he was himself was like away, or someone else was like, dude, this over.
I'm trying to remember the fight. I believe this is how it went down. The American, Justin, he got pinned quick. He got taken down by this other guy, Ilya.
Oh, yeah.
And he had him down the first round. I thought, oh, no, America. Come on, America. I was like saying, let's go USA. And Brad's like, people really cheer that way. I'm like, oh, but it's still USA. Let's go. But anyways.
I love it.
The other guy had him down. And then I was like, okay, it's not going to go good. And then Justin Gagey, he just, like what you were saying, he kind of he did the long game. He was taking hits too. Because that guy was like, he was like a freaking viper. Like, he was fast. Yeah. Even when you see him come down the White House steps, he's all like jumping on down, where all the other fighters walked. So he has this tremendous speed, but Gagey, because he kept on hitting his legs, hitting the sides, hitting the leg. Yeah, that side punch was really bad. But that was the other guy. But it was so fun to watch. I never really watched Fight 4, so that's why I'm like.
Oh, she was, guys. You're gonna love this. She was all like, oh God, like every other thing. It is brutal. You know, if you're not watching it, it's pretty brutal to watch. But
yeah. I was like, Brad, there's blood on the stage there. All right, so this was like right after the fact, and they gave him medal. And like I said, I did record quite a bit, but for copyright reasons, I'm not going to play it. But it was wonderful to watch, and UFC did an amazing job, by the way. So check this out. No one could outwork me in round 3. That was awesome.
Every time he tried to get inside or even like grapple with Poirier in the beginning of that fight, Poirier was like, he'd blast off like 5 shots in a second. It's so fast. Hands are incredible, and that'll win you a lot of fights. That's why he's won a lot of fights. But man, Gagey freaking worked through it, and that was wild. Over here in Pilled, Mr. JT says Justin looked like he broke some ribs with that knee kick. Yeah, that was at the end of the 3rd round, I believe, and he just popped him, dude. That's like, I don't care how in shape you are. That's hard to take. Also, Curtis Good, when Trump and Dana White were walking out, they had to walk past the auto pen.
I know, wasn't that great?
And also point out that Poirier had done a lot of trash talking, and trash talking is the name of the game in UFC, right? But it is nice when someone who is doing the exceptionally lion's share of the trash talking is the guy who gets his ass kicked. So
yeah, because they had pre-made videos representing both of the champions, and so his was like, I'm coming for you, Gagey. I have my white rose. And he lays it in front of the picture, right? And then Justin Gagey's one was like, I live in Texas. We're gonna remember he was from, I'm sorry, that's not exactly, it was somewhere in the West. And they're like, love my mom, love my dad, love my sisters, let's go. And I'm like, that's the American. I'm going for you. I think all the Americans are rooting for the Americans. But that being said, that all the fighters were amazing. I've never been to fight. Brad, you have. But I'll tell you, I know that type of fighting, any regular person, even if you thought you were good at fighting, you might be, like, I'm telling you, it's done. It's like one punch, you would be down. Like, so when you're seeing these guys take these punches, sometimes it's like, I don't know what, like, illusion, if the word, you know what I'm saying? Because you're like, oh yeah, hey, take a hit. It's like, no normal person could do that.
It's like cool. Kicked in the head, the speed of light. It's like everyone I know would have been ended by that. And it's just like a random singular hit during a flurry of a fight. So it is wild watching these people. They are so conditioned and so in tune that it's the best of the best, man. It's the Roman gladiators. It's wild. I love it. I also like that Pereira, even though he lost, is it Pereira? I don't know how to pronounce the name. Alex Pereira.
Pereira.
Okay, yeah, he lost to Cyril Gane, but he came out to Sepultura, which I was like, that is so cool. They had the live band playing "It's Sorry" from Sepultura Roots, and I was just like, I hear like, hey, and I'm like, wait, what? And it was like I perk up, and all of a sudden I hear, it's sorry. I was like, this fucking dude's walking up to Sepultura. That's so amazing. And so I was geeking out, Abby.
And it was all being performed with a live band. And when that was happening, Brad's like, no, look, God is my witness. Brad's like, no, they must be playing the CD. I'm like, no, Brad, there's a live band there. But I think he hadn't come in quite yet, because you were like in town or something. Anyways, you came in when it was starting. Yeah. And I was like, no, it's a live band. They've been playing all their music. And it was so cool. They're on the drums, like, dum, 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 dum. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That was cool, dude. Live freaking Sepultura. It's all right. So that was cool. Even though he lost, that was cool. My brother sent me he had a 5-win parlay, and that was the only one that knocked it off. He had he had Gagey, Pereira, O'Malley, Hokett, and Nickel. Bo Nickel was a great fight too. And the only one that threw it off was Pereira. So sorry, Sal. But he did win on Gagey, a regular thing. The first fight between Lopes and Garcia, that was great, dude. That was just a straight up, thumbs to the temples.
But then they threw some kicks. And then I was like,
Oh,
Brad.
yeah, well,
I was like, what? I was like, they're doing, remember? And then the one guy did like a roundhouse kick. And I was like, that's karate. And then you're like, yeah, it's mixed martial arts, Abby. Like they do this. I'm like, okay. It was fun.
Yeah. Knock My Socks Off wants to know, do you two have this much fun with each other off camera? You're such a lovely couple.
Yeah, we do. But then I'm also snappy.
We do have a great time.
I could be snappy.
You're a little snappy. We do laugh and have a great time.
Brad's always the one like, this is Brad. Basically, this is funny. The most things will happen is I get stressed about life stuff. And then he's like, babe, you don't gotta worry about it. It's fine. Like basically like God's in control, pretty much is at the end of the day. It's like when he circles me with this concept, like I know it, but it's like Brad always cinders me and I'm like, you're right, babe. And
I feel like the world is set up to make everyone like upset all the time, right?
Yep.
I obviously get amped up about things that I think suck too. So I get it. But also at the end of the day, man, God's going to have this world happen the way it's going to happen. And just put your worries to God. I mean, that's a pretty specific teaching from Jesus, is that if you give your worries to him, you will be taken care of. So I do that in my life. Also, too, it's like, we're like in Alaska, hanging out in the rainforest. We got this property. We're down there building shit. Like, got this awesome wife. I married into an awesome family. I also have two awesome families, growing up. And it's just like, man, life is great, dude. Who cares? If the bad shit's going to happen forever, right? We push back on it. We dig on it. We expose it. But as far as letting it ruin your day, screw that. Man, I'm going to enjoy my life forever. So.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean to not lose purpose, because it's like we've talked about this on my channel before. Like if you go to, let's say, maybe a darker topic, like when Cash is talking about human trafficking. Yes, that's terrible. Yes, it's happening. But guess what? Now someone's doing something about it. Now an administration is actually saving the children. We were censored on Twitter back when it was called Twitter for hashtag Save the Children. Those were being taken down.
Despicable.
So guess what? Now we have the man that owns it, X now, Elon, that's like posting that stuff, guys. It's like, what an amazing change we've been through. And yes, things are hard, but it's like there is so much good now. So basically, to encompass what we're talking about, is put your mindset in the good. Even though the corruption is being exposed and it is evil and it's something that's going to happen for us to move to the golden age, to the light, we have to expose it. But you don't have to let that dark energy get to you, because we're exposing it. We're really the light beings. I tell Brad that. I'm like, sometimes I feel like when the Holy Spirit is in us, we are like a light, like quite literally a light. God says he's a light, light to the world, and we are too.
Yeah. So
it's cool. So stay in the light, I guess, expose the darkness, but stay in the light as you're doing it.
Amen. And, Knock Socks Off is also backing up to what you're saying, to what I was saying, but you must have full faith, not just faith, quote faith, when you give it all to God. Yeah, I guess to say my faith isn't real, but I mean, but the fact that I have real faith is because I give my worries to God. And also too, as far as like the saying, try to control the outcome. Well, I think we are God's workers, right? I think God wants us to try and make the world a better place and to try and make the outcomes as good as possible and work towards it. I don't think he wants us just to go to sleep in the corner. And I think God works through us. So when people, it's like kind of like the guy who's on the roof, right, during the flood.
Yeah.
And he's praying to God for a way out. And the guy comes by with the boat. And he's like, that's okay. I got God, right? And goes out, and guy comes over with a helicopter. He's like, no, man, God's got me. Don't worry about me. And then they go away, and then nothing happens. So he's praying to God, and God's like, I thought you were going to save me. He's like, who do you think set the boat and the helicopter, right? So God works through people. And I think he's working through us right now to expose the darkness, to, also expose the wins, because, boy, the enemy's not going to promote them for sure. And to just make this world as good a place as possible. And while doing so, just to set your worries aside, because we're doing as much as we can.
Yeah. And babe, I love that. And to top that off, knock my socks off. I love the conversation. This is great. We love when people can just we can be talking about this, because this is how we grow. So when you were saying all that, guys, this is what came to my head was Ephesians 5:11. And it says, take no part in the worthless deeds of evil and darkness. So don't take no part in it, but rather expose them. Or this other version says, but instead expose them. So it's not only saying don't take part of it, you're going to have to know a little bit about it if you're going to expose it. So it's very, I love that verse because it's so digital soldier. You know what I'm talking about?
What is that? Ephesians 5:11, you said?
Yeah, Ephesians 5:11. So don't take part in that darkness, but expose the darkness. It's an actual command from God. So, so that's that fine line. You're kind of like, how Jesus says it's a straight and narrow path. I always think of it like, when you're balancing on like a fence. That's always when Jesus says that, I always think of a fence, and you're walking and you're balancing. And there's many ways to pull you, but if you keep your eye on him, that's how you do it. And you can be exposing darkness, but you got to keep your eyes on him, I guess, is the key.
That's cool. I like that. Yes. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's great points all around for sure.
All right.
And I think part of also is I feel like America, the USA is protected by God. And I think that's why God has built up in President Trump's spirit to do everything he's been doing, and built up in our spirits to do everything we've been doing. And it's been restored, man. The America and the United States and the world are being brought back to Christendom.
Yes, it is true. And you do see it, it's throughout the world. And it's through Trump that has been leading this. And again, Brad, like you're saying, returning to God, that prayer day, guys, that happened in May, that was important. I can't even emphasize how important that was, that he, as the leader of the country of America, called upon the people, we the people of the United States of America, to all pray as one for the country to be healed and to count our blessings.
Yeah.
That is just historic to me. I don't think any president's ever really done that. I'm like,
I don't think so either. Yeah.
So it's definitely a return to what you said, Christendom. Anyway. I love that. And so there's so much respect, right? And it really is thanks to Trump. And he's been through, like we've talked about, assassination, his character, his money, his empire, like you name it. But this man kept pushing through, and this man continues. And that's why he did this fight on the lawn when everyone's like, it's ugly, it's terrible. Guess what? It was the best freaking night ever. So this is right after the fight. Trump and Melania come on the ring and greet the champion.
You see them? They were like teenagers on a date all night. They were like,
oh, they were.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pull this down for a minute. Yeah. Do you have anything on that? Because I could play a few more if you want.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll say real quick. And this is from just the news. It says the FBI stopped a terror plot involving as many as 24 perpetrators to attack Sunday's UFC 250 fight at the White House with explosive-laden drones and snipers, officials told Just the News on Tuesday. At least 5 people have been arrested, and agents are working to identify as many as 18 others who appeared to be involved in the planning on encrypted chats communicating with alleged plotters, officials said. Kash Patel confirmed the events, first reported by Fox News in a statement to Just the News. Quote, Patel said on June 10th, FBI and our law enforcement partners became aware of a potential threat to the UFC America 250 event in Washington, D.C., involving individuals outside of the national capital region. And thanks to the rapid action of this FBI, our partners, and the Department of Justice in a multi-state operation, multiple individuals are now in custody and alleged planning attack were stopped. Okay, so that's pretty freaking awesome. He says, while the result represented the best investigative work, it was also nothing out of the ordinary for this law enforcement team. We are built to detect, respond to, and bring justice to those who threaten the lives of American citizens, particularly during large gatherings like the historic UFC 250 fights. Dude, epic, bro. I freaking love it, man. And
yeah, that's awesome.
It's unfortunate that this is a battle against evil right now. So evil's going to be trying to find a way for everything moving forward. So these guys are also going to be countering them every step of the way. So a pre-victory to the UFC 250 Freedom, which was full of epic victories.
Yeah, and I had no idea, and bravo to everybody involved, law enforcement and everything, because that's amazing. And it just shows you there is evil people, like you said, but there's good people too. And I'm going to show this real quick. This is so funny. So after the event, Dan comes out with this and he goes, let's see if I can make this a little bigger. All right, my thing's so touchy. Okay, he goes, the Weather Channel sucks. Let's go. 1:22 a.m. What a night. Guess what? 0 rain, 0 winds, 0 mosquitoes. But this is what they put out. They're like, UFC Freedom 250 forecast rain, 30 miles per hour winds, and mosquitoes on the south lawn.
Like,
I'm going to deter you from going.
Mosquitoes.
But anyway, I thought that was great. Way to go, Dan, for calling them out. 0 rain, 0 winds, and 0 mosquitoes. So there's some propaganda there that they didn't want anybody to go and enjoy that event again.
Yeah, they don't want anyone to enjoy anything. You were bringing Abby made a good comment. What was that? I don't know, a couple of days ago, where you were saying how Obama just brought the joy out. He kind of everything became joyless, and it was all just like, race things with Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin being presented. That's when that all started. I think purposefully. I think that was part of a kind of a program that they brought in with them, and then there was trannies sharing bathrooms with your kids, and it was like all this freaking negative stuff. He was always being negative about different things and upset about things, and so this is a flip back to the joy of America.
Yes, it is. Actually, let me add this. I don't even have to play the audio, but this was the joy, guys. This was like during the fight. I mean, look at this guy up there with the flag. They're freaking out. And it was just such a great night. Look at that. Look at that crowd.
I loved how most of the fighters, after they won, go over, say what up to Trump and stuff. It was kind of like the old Roman gladiators, or going up to the emperor after they won and stuff, and nodding. It was cool, dude. See, they say no kings, but they didn't say no emperors. Emperor Trump. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Someone clip that if they cared. Shout out Donnie Double with the 10 subscriptions. Fucking awesome, bro. Love you, brother.
Oh, dude, rock and roll.
Yo, Donnie Double. That's for Donnie's double terms, man.
Thank you so much.
And 47. I got a little pug on my feet.
Oh. Here's just a clip of one of the fighters coming to. Should I mute it?
Donald Trump.
That was cool.
Oh yeah, dude, he's shouting at Trump.
He loves fights, man. He loves fighting.
So this is a montage, I guess, of different.
Yeah, different fighters. Yeah.
So right.
He's a hard guy not to like. I gotta tell you, that's why he goes and sees him in person. He's like, how could you be sitting there hanging out with him? And then he's like, and then what? You don't like Trump? It's like a happy. This was one of my arguments. I think we played an old video last episode where we were showing the Hillary. Remember when you Googled Hillary and they were all like presidential and nice, and then you Google Trump and like 4 out of 5 were like scowls and upset. I'm like, but in real life, Hillary is known as like the bitchy first lady, right, from the Clinton administration, and Trump's known as like the fun-loving rich dude, right?
Right.
Construction guy. So it's like that's who he is to begin with. So
oh yeah, sorry, I'm muted. I have the dude 100%, and I have these other videos that they played in between the UFC live stream. They're the patriotic videos.
Yes.
And so just to kind of line up how that was. So I found them on the UFC X account. So they're the ones that have been putting it out. So we were watching the show live, right? The fights. And then it goes to commercial breaks. And then it plays these amazing videos. And me and Brad being like video editors and stuff, I'm like, dude, this is like awesome. This is patriotic. This is educational. So I found all 3 of them. And thank you to the UFC for putting this out. This first one is titled The Origin. And check this out. That was awesome.
That was sick.
So I love how it started out first with, of course, George Washington, the Delaware Crossing.
Yeah.
Which are very symbolic to us. So that was a nice little hat tip. And then
it was cool the way they did the AI with it, like and showed like from different angles, you know?
Yes. I love how it was like paintings, right? And again, this was like very educational because Brad he had a great point. You're like, well, this is like UFC, but this is being broadcast like on like big. And I'm like, oh, you're right. So they took that time to incorporate educational, patriotic, truth videos. And I just loved it. I was so blown away. I kept on like recording it and like, and we're like trying to watch it. And of course my camera's so shaky. So I'm so glad that they put these out. So this one's,
they've been doing this for everything. A lot of stuff that's all been happening this year, regardless of under what banner it is. There's been educational things about America and our history and cool things that have happened, good people, fighters for America. I really love that. And I love that UFC also got in on that. And again, this was through the UFC just signed the deal with Paramount Plus. And so this was on the UFC's platform, their own thing, and they were broadcasting them. And this was a great touch to the fights.
Yeah, you're right. It's just something that, not that they wouldn't before it, but you never saw it. They were just doing fights. So it was really great patriotic touch. All right, so this one is called The Flag. So I got chills from that one. I was like, what are we watching? I thought we were watching a fight, It was just like such patriotic goodness. And the rockets, red glare, the bombs bursting in air. That's when he wrote it. He was a prisoner on a boat. I remember learning about that going, dang, man, things were tough. And he still believed that it was possible that we could succeed, and we did. And that's that fighting spirit. That's like the fighters, you saw last night. It was just like, yeah, let's go. So cool.
Without a doubt. And it's important because they're trying to shield our history, especially from these upcoming generations. The only history they want to teach is kind of this cooked anti-American history and this anti-white history. And it's sad, and the kids are growing up hearing that stuff. So this is a counter to that, just engulfing the country with all these wonderful achievements and wonderful moments and patriotic spirit, because there's no place like this on the earth. It's the only true place where you can have freedom, and even our freedoms have been in danger. But as compared to the rest of the world, this is it, man.
Yeah, that reminds me of that African farmer guy that came out. He was just like, he came over to America.
I should
and
try
he
to
was,
find that. That's a great clip.
Yeah, I'll talk for a minute about it if you can find it. He comes, basically, the story behind this man is that he posted from his property in Africa. He is a white man, but he lives there. And he was saying, hey, these people are coming into our land, robbing our building, I think burning them, like raiding their land, stealing which it's just insane, and attacking the Christians. Well, anyways, Elon, reposts him, and he gets pretty well known after that. I wasn't aware of the story. Then he comes over to America. And this clip, he's like, look, I'm outside some town, some state in America. I don't even know where it was. He's like, it's 12 o'clock. I'm walking the street. He's like, look, no one's trying to rob me. No one's trying to raid me. And then a truck comes down to the stop. And he's like, in Africa, that people would jump on that as soon as you got that slow. If you got, that slow, that they would just raid and jump in your car. He's like, that doesn't happen here. And he literally, at first I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't. He was
I found this page. I should try scrolling down to see if I can find that specific video, because that is a great freaking video. I think. All right.
Yeah,
I
just
found it.
The ultimate joy in his face, guys. Like, so now that you know the background of that, watch how he reacts to this. It's so good.
It's Jason Barlett is his name.
Okay, cool. It is 12 o'clock at night. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Nothing. No one. I mean, completely spotless, clean. I just took a walk all the way down there. Midnight. It's freaking midnight, and I'm completely safe. And I'm a white person walking around. That's so cool. Look there. Those trucks. Nobody's trying to rob them. No one's looting them and smashing the back of them and stealing stuff. If a truck drives that slow in South Africa, they literally will break open the back and loot it. I mean, it is awesome. And here's me, a white guy walking around at a gas station. That bridge, I'm going to go for a walk underneath that bridge now. You know what's going to happen to me? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Safe as can be. Man, I really hope people don't take this for granted, because America is safe. America is clean. America is friendly. Look at that truck right there. It's not being robbed. Oh my goodness. It's actually not being broken into.
It's not being robbed.
Look at this. Let me show you. There's no druggies. There's no people vandalizing. There's no people sleeping everywhere and stealing everything. Just simple freedom. You can actually walk around at night as a white person in America. Well, a little bit red, of course, because I got a real good suntan in DC. But look at this. You just go, the stores are open 24 hours. Oh my goodness, no ways. Come look here.
No way.
Let me show you this. Look at this, look at this, look at this. This is so cool. So cool. There's no bulletproof glass. I mean, look at this stuff. There's not even locks on the ice. There's not, I mean, that stands there all night. Look at the trash cans get used. Look at this. Look here. Look here. No security measures at all. Do you realize how rare this is around the world, especially in South Africa? Look at this. Man, I can't. This is just awesome. I love it. To live in a civilized country is... Yeah. Look, I'll walk in front of this truck. He'll slow down and stop for me. And he just lets me walk. He doesn't try to run me over. He doesn't try... And it's actually a black guy driving that truck.
Try to run me over.
Earlier on. He didn't try to run me over. In South Africa, they would literally speed up. So this is... I mean, he has teenagers at midnight just having a good conversation with each other. Man, this is such an awesome place. God bless him, man.
God bless America. Wasn't that a treat, guys?
I love
You just
that.
feel it from his heart. He's just like, what?
Yeah. Now, fortunately, there are some spots where that could go a little different in America, but it's not everywhere. And there are a lot of great places where.
Well, I like.
Yeah.
Well, just gonna say, I like how he was just like, well, there's no security check marks when you go into the gas station. Like, and he said, you don't know how rare this is on the earth, pretty much what he's saying, and especially South Africa. But like, that's a core thing to understand there is that safety, because everybody, also we have carry laws here. And it's just way cool. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
I'd say where I grew up, mostly in New Jersey, most places you can go at night and just totally be fine. Most places in New York, although that's been changing thanks to the 8 years of what's his freaking name? De Blasio. Now De Blasio and now Mamdani. From what I understand, that New York City has been changing back over to what it was. Even Bloomberg, it's weird. Bloomberg came in, pretended to be a Republican in New York City, and he pushed all the middle class out by putting all these taxes and tolls on everything, and he made it again just for the rich snooty liberals. And then De Blasio came in and he pushed the middle class out on the other way and made it so, propped up where you were either dirt poor between all three of them. You could there's no middle class can exist in Manhattan. So that's, again, those are tools of the deep state, and hopefully someone will bring it back around. But yeah, man, that's a cool experience with that, guys. I couldn't imagine living in South Africa. South Africa, it's a bloodbath right now. I mean, if you're white in South Africa, you have to get out of there. So I love watching that guy's joy.
Yeah, and so he's experiencing like the joy to be an American. That's really what it is. And again, I know not everybody, let me remove this. Not everybody, let's say, carries a weapon or whatever. Okay, I get it. But the concept that we all can, I tell you, there is a study, there's a town, I think it's like in Wyoming or someplace. It's been one of the safest towns in the whole country for a long time because they require the people that come and move in to own a weapon. Every single one, just one weapon, but a weapon in the household. That's the coolest study. I think since then, like, they've had some crime here and there, so they can't be like the most pristine, but they quite literally still are. And so that's the power of being able to protect yourself, and that man experiencing the outcome of that.
Since that report, there's been a little crime in that town. Isn't that interesting?
It's an older report. It's something.
Well, I remember that. I remember that's like a 20-year-old report, right, or something, 15 years.
So
I remember when that happened, and so I'm just saying that now that you're saying that, obviously since it's changed a little bit, where people approach, because they can't have that narrative out there. So where outsiders sent to commit crime there, where people in that neighborhood who maybe have a bit of a reputation approached and given money to do bad stuff. I don't know. All I know is that's interesting that after that report happened, all of a sudden now there's a little bit of crime there.
Yeah. I mean, and you've dug into I know it's a little off topic, but the Southern Poverty Law Center, the concept of something saying I'm one thing and promoting the other, right? Yeah. We know that's an actual, true, real thing. What was I saw? It was 11 indictments on those guys. Like, This is real deal. So anyways, yeah. So I got way off topic, but it's good. You guys love us, don't you? You guys, and by the way, please give us thumbs up if you just jumped in here. This is the last one that they put out. It was called The Walk, and I love this. And they say freedom starts with the footsteps of the brave.
Nice.
And good. We're doing the walk, guys. We are doing the first step. And Brad, that wraps up for what I got with that. But man, I just love this. I love this. You know what I mean, Brad? This is something like, I can't help but go back to my old Anon roots and go, this is what I was wanting, because they're doing all the posts, right? And they're like, yes, America, and they want us divided, and we're going to unify, and nothing stuff's coming. And then here we are. It's just, what an amazing time to be alive. And it's just so cool. I love doing it. being here with all of you guys, and also Brad, you.
Yeah.
It's just such an honor.
It's so cool. It's so cool to celebrate America, to celebrate this administration, celebrate what's been going down. And obviously it's going to be a pretty amazing summer. What do we have? Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to the 4th of July? Yes, the 16th.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So Flag Day. So it was also Flag Day on Sunday. It was also President Trump's birthday. So happy birthday to President Trump. It was a big one for him. And Flag Day is his birthday, very appropriate. So that was really cool. There was some small celebrations around town for that as well. Also, Flag Day is the anniversary of the first YouTube video I posted, under the Where We Go Wall moniker. Obviously, I had that page, and that was my personal page where I'd always post stuff for many years. But the first political video I ever posted was June 14th, 2018 on there. And it's kind of, I had been active in Facebook groups with all, then all the Q groups, and before that Trump groups. And I'd kept my YouTube kind of free of political things. But what would happen is I would make videos for those groups and they'd get buried a lot. So, it'd be on the top and people would see it and it'd be cool. And then by the end of that day, there's 500 posts above it, right? If anyone's ever been to Facebook groups, that's kind of how it works. So it's like my YouTube's dormant. Let me start saving these over here.
Nice.
And then I just wound up being like, I'm just going to post on YouTube. This is, that's what I did. And I changed my channel name and I went off to the races because, we were all doing a lot of work and research. So you kind of don't want it to get buried, right? You want it to stay. So, yeah. So it was also kind of a little personal anniversary for me. And that's why it was cool it's cool to think about that and think about the journey that we've been on. That was 8 years ago. Pretty nuts. I also have an older video also from later in 2018 that I'm going to play here in a second, because we had a little controversy also at UFC 250, which makes the Democrats mad, but really happy, because if they didn't have something to be upset about, they wouldn't know what to do with themselves. Let's play this from after.
Hey, dude.
Oh my God, dude. Well, forget. I mean, it's like, obviously it's like there's two trains, right? Because you're like, well, it was such a great event. Oh, now this is going to be the story of it, right? But it hasn't been. So, but for them, they were going to find something anyway, right? So might as well give them a freaking softball. But I think it's funny. This is something that's been discussed a lot in our community, that we think Michelle is a transgender. It's pretty much born out of Joan Rivers saying Michelle Obama is a tranny. We all know it. And you look at her face, it looks like she's actually referencing something that is known behind the scenes. And then she died during a routine surgery just like a month later. I used to have the dates. I have them written down somewhere. It's like a month and a half later. She goes for a routine surgery, throat surgery, and dies during the surgery, which is like, whoa, what the F? And so people wondering, oh crap, was she taken out? Because that was like definitely a bridge too far in that world. And it got people thinking and people watching, and there are definitely clips where it looks like she might have a piece of the male anatomy. There are also two different clips where Barack Obama starts to say Michael, where it says Michael and I.
Yes.
And so people wonder about that. So there are several things. The kids almost assuredly, again, this is all speculation on my part, was it Martin Nesbitt and Anita Blanchard, I think? Basically, the Obamas have a couple who they're friends with and they go on vacation with, who are splitting images for Malia and Sasha Obama, to the point where it's kind of like, dude, are those their kids? And you're, I guess, borrowing them because you're supposed to, right? We're presenting the Barack Obama who's like grown on the freaking farm. and he's got to have a wife and kids and all this stuff. So anyway, the rumor mill goes, and I'm not saying Michelle Obama is definitely a man. I'm just saying I have questions, is basically what I'm saying. And there are, I guess the counter argument, to be fair, is that there are pictures of Michelle Obama when she was a young girl. And so I guess those would have to be fake if she is a guy. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. They could be real. Maybe she's just, very masculine. But I'm just saying there is at least an argument to be had. So I'm going to play this old video. Hopefully it doesn't get the YT disconnected, because it was once upon a time deleted off YT. It was towards the beginning of the end. It was in August of 2020. I put out kind of a dig video / it's almost like teetering on a little documentary about the Disney, their massive media empire, and also coupled with just all the lewdness Disney has had over the years, plus all the problems they've had with child predators and stuff like that. Plus also their kind of loose ties to the whole Epstein saga. So I put that out in August of 2020, and it got hundreds of thousands of views right out of the gate. It was kicking off, and boom, it gets deleted. Along with this video I'm going to play, they did a twofer on me, and then that was kind of the beginning and the end. So I was like, and when they did this one, since I had posted this one in the fall of 2018, I said, oh crap, they're going back and looking through my videos. So I should have known. Then obviously October, they deleted a whole bunch of us. But this is all, in my opinion, the evidence that Michelle Obama actually might be a man.
Tonight, we look at one Michael Levine Robinson. Missing to this day? Or did he pull off a daring caper to become First Lady of the United States of America? It all started back on September 4th, 2014, after comedian Joan Rivers died while undergoing a routine surgical procedure. Many began pointing to an interview she had done only 2 weeks earlier after officiating a gay wedding.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
Transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Was Barack Obama ashamed to be the first gay president? Many believe he forced Michael to hide his true transgender self. Unsolved Inquisitries uncovered not one but 2 clips of the president slipping up.
You know what my kids asked me? They said, you've got to ask the president, is anything scary?
Well, when Michelle's mad. Men and women of the finest military in the world. Most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah. Michael and I also want to acknowledge your son Jack, who's deployed today. All of you have performed extraordinary service to our country.
In addition to this mystery, several people have pointed out a striking resemblance between their children and family friends Martin Nesbitt and Anita Blanchard. And in one final twist, you could see Michelle Obama here on The Ellen Show with a certain something swinging to the music. Or here, where she was caught fixing herself while exiting from this building. With all this evidence, is it really still a question? You'll have to ask yourself, how well do we know?
You are absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that has not come my Christian faith.
No lightning from heaven. I wish I could pause this one thing right here, because
Yeah, what was that?
that was so there was Barack Obama means lightning from a high place of worship. When you one of an early red pill for me was when someone said Barack Obama means, lightning from heaven. And there's a famous verse from the Bible that says, and then Jesus beheld Satan, Lucifer or Satan or whatever come down as lightning from heaven.
Oh yes, lightning reference. Yes.
So I remember looking that up, and the first thing that comes up, it says, no, that's debunked, all that stuff. And so I click on the page, and it is like paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. I have a whole video where I go through it at one point. And when you get to paragraph like 10, it says, yes, indeed, Barack does mean lightning, but Obama does not mean heaven. Ooh means, ooh apostrophe means of, and Bama means high place of worship. Oh, okay. Debunked. And I remember just scrolling up through all the, they give you the history of stuff, and they give you this. They talk enough so you're gonna say, okay, you just go with the original title, which says it's been debunked. And I was like, well, that's not debunked at all. It actually proves it. And I thought that was so funny. But anyway, so that's just, semantics. But the things in that video, Joan Rivers saying she's a tranny and then dying suspiciously 1 month later. Very suspicious. The speech when he says, Michael and I would like to ring. Now, the pushback on that is that he's talking about Admiral Mullen. Mike Mullen is there. And they're saying, well, he's talking about the Admiral. But he addresses him. He says, Admiral Mullen, blah, 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 blah. Michael and I. So he wouldn't be mentioning him if he's addressing him. So that doesn't make sense. And then when he's walking through the farm or whatever that is, and they're specifically talking about Michelle, and he goes, when Michelle is mad, it sounds like he says, my Michael. It does. So that's another thing. Also, the kids clearly are not theirs. Because you could say, if it looked like the dad, just both of them, you could say, all right, maybe Michelle had an affair, and then those are actually Michael Nesbitt's kids. But one looks like the mom also. I believe Sasha looks like the mom.
Yes, that's the younger one, right?
How does that happen? So I would bet money that they are the biological children of Martin and Anita Nesbitt. So there's just a lot of weirdness going on with the Obamas, and that's the way about it. If you ask me to take a bet, I'd say I'm probably about 70% sure Michelle Obama was born a man, as a biological male. So I would take that bet. But obviously, again, crazier things that happen, and there are other counterpoints. There are other pictures as his daughters, so who knows? But with all the nastiness, right? And they're making this out like it was the worst thing that could ever happen. The guy said it jokingly. It's a joke that we say, and he was having a laugh about it. Okay, so one, he said it jokingly. But two, you guys have embarked on a campaign that has likened us to Nazis and Trump to Hitler. The most, 100,000 times prominent people, prominent news figures, prominent politicians, everyone on that side has made these comments. So you could take a man comment. All right. We've taken hey, you're genocidal, murderous maniacs comments for 10 years now. So it's okay. You guys will be all right.
You'll be all right.
Yeah. Relax.
So I haven't seen the fake news, but I guess maybe they're having a little fit about it. That's funny. But again, whatever. The one thing though about Joan Rivers, look, she says, oh, we all know so basically what I get from her when she says that is like, when you're around. So if I could be around Michelle Obama for probably 5 minutes, like sitting next to her, him, whatever. Like I could probably tell you right away, like if it's a man or woman. And that's kind of that's the feel she gives off when she says it. Kind of like, oh yeah, we all know. Like, can you imagine if you're at a place and then you're like, oh no, I think that's a dude. You know what I mean? You know how it is, right? That might be the case. So we don't know. Obviously, I can't say because I don't know. I haven't been around her, but the videos and the people of a higher position saying these claims, I lean towards, yeah, definitely man. I'm going man route.
Yeah, I think it's very possible. Oh my God.
I love you too.
With that, let's take this opportunity to talk about a little Emerald Med.
All right, hold on.
Now, I want to share a quick story about the family of Emerald Med who are supporting this channel by making these sort of ads available. Their father had a rare form of cognitive decline due to his military service, made him unable to work. Their mother had to stop working too so she could care for him. Now, their sons discovered new U.S. Library of Medicine studies on various mushroom blends that could significantly support cognitive function. So they began creating a complex mushroom supplement based off that research, not just to help their own family, but to help others. They nearly quit after multiple setbacks, also having their first big batch stolen. That sucks. But fast forward now, they speak at medical conventions nationwide. Their company is called Emerald Med, and their product massively supports brain, immune, blood, and heart function. Your cognitive function optimizes everything you do. You can get knees, heart, and kidneys replaced, but you can't get a new brain. So investing in the only brain you have for the rest of your life does matter. If you want to support a new company that supports our channel plus freedom of speech with their marketing, and you want to try a strong mushroom supplement, they have a deal for America's 250th. You can just click the link below and use the code for 30% off today. It's currently the most concentrated mushroom gummy in the US. It has up to 400 compounds and is rich in vitamins and minerals. With 6 formulas in one, it's like getting 6 supplements for the price of one. You can click the link below and try Emerald's Med Mushrooms Gummy. Take 30% off today. Right on. And thank you guys for supporting independent media.
Yeah,
now,
thank you.
Do you want to talk about like the orb sightings and stuff like that?
Oh,
That's
dude, do
pretty
you
cool
want
stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think if you could go through it quick, because it's really fascinating. I know a lot of people are kind of like arm's length with the UFO disclosure, but there is a lot of cool stuff into it. And thankfully, I'm married to someone who's been digging in. So I get a lot of the cool Cliff Notes reports. And I think it would be fun to go through some of them because they're awesome. Also, too, is there's been like booms, right? There's been these booms and weird things going on across.
Okay, so I have been tracking that.
Yeah.
There has been, since the beginning of 2026, there has been a total of 4 green, what NASA is calling asteroids. There has been 2 booms that cause sonic booms. And half of these guys, NASA or nobody even come out and said what it was. It just happened, and then we're supposed to forget about it. So I have been tracking that. I have theories as to what it could be, but I'm not going to say anything yet because I've just been tracking it and getting as much data as I can. I do want to do a show on that. But just know, things are coming into our atmosphere, sonic booms, and then supposedly these giant meteors hit somewhere, but then nobody can find where they hit. And yeah, so I'm a little suspicious about the cover story. Now, with that being said, the White House, I think it was the day before the fight, put out the Tranche 3, and that's what we were listening to. Me and Brad were.
Oh, that's what that was? Okay.
Yeah, we were out working on the trail, doing some hardcore trail work. Brad's been working on a bridge and a kind of a boardwalk back there. And I was like listening to the NASA recordings. They put out 3 this time. And basically, we learned quite a bit. If you take the time to listen to it, it's about a minute and 20 seconds. Yeah, I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes.
What
sorry.
we listened to was over an hour. Okay.
Yeah, we were listening to all of them. Like,
Okay. Those were the debriefings from some of the Apollo missions.
Yes.
And yeah, boy, it makes it. I've always been on the fence about, at very least, the first Apollo landing. But hearing the these debriefings, I don't know, it makes it feel a lot more real. I gotta say, I wish that they should have released these right away. But there are some interesting things you can see why they probably didn't.
Yeah, so I also have thoughts about that. I do feel like a lot of the footage that was presented to the American public when they did the moon landings is made up. Yes, I do believe that. However,
right? Yeah.
I have a unique stance where I do believe we still went to the moon. And these ones that they released in this tranche are a great they paint such a different picture at the time because we're listening to things from the 60s and they're talking about things as if it's just totally known. Yet we didn't know until now. So what I learned from one of those recordings in third tranche, there's earthquakes on the moon. That's something interesting. They saw a bright flash on the moon. There's also different, what do we call, horizon auras that they're seeing over the moon and the earth that they don't talk about. They talk about the earth being an oval shape. They talk about these black matrix blocks that are found on and around coming out of the craters on the moon that are all facing in the same direction. So there was that. And so they don't really talk much about it. It's just each time they're asking the astronaut, when you saw these, they'll be like, oh, you saw that at, they had names for places on the moon. I can't remember them all, but they're like, you saw that at this crater and you saw that at this crater. And they're like, yes, sir, we saw it. And they were all, and he goes, what direction were they facing? They were all facing north, so it was very important for them to find out.
It was like extraterrestrial-ish stuff. I mean, they're not like outward slaying it, but the things they're talking about, and again, like you're saying, kind of nonchalantly, sounds like there could be shit on the moon. That's kind of what it sounds like. It's probably why there's fake the footage.
Yeah, I think it's right. And so again, I don't really say what they've been putting out. And I know some people get touchy about it, but at the same time, I've seen a lot of people be really excited about it as well. And we're gonna face it together. The truth is the truth. And I'll tell you this, at the very least, it's just a crazy, weird CIA global cover-up of technologies that I guess we made. At the very most, it's alien technology, and there has been a cover-up and all that. So could be in the middle somewhere. We don't know. But the White House put out 2 of these videos from the third tranche. So I'm going to play them for you guys. And I don't think it has audio.
This is okay. This reminds me of when we first dating. Remember you sent me a picture of like red dots in the sky of like UFOs that you had seen.
Yes.
And that's the first thing that came to my mind when you were showing me this.
And I've seen multiple times, and you're right, those ones were over the horizon or over the tree line, and they were moving. It's funny because these ones that I saw, they were kind of staying there for a little bit, and then you would almost think, well, maybe it's just an interesting bright planet, right?
Yeah.
But then it would do this, and you're like, was that my eyes? And then so we were able to watch for a quite longer time, and then yes, they were moving.
They say, as someone, I've always followed a lot of the UFO conspiracies over the years. And one of the big things is they say the most activity in the whole world, a lot of times is over obviously like the New Mexico area. That's the most infamous one, but also Alaska.
Yes.
There's lots of sightings in Alaska.
Up in Nome, we've had a lot of disappearances and a lot of sightings. And this one is 4 minutes long, so we don't have to play the whole thing, but they put it out and they did have it titled Orbs Over the Pond. And if you watch, you'll see that it dips in and out of the water. It's a reflection.
Yeah, so what is this then? Yeah. Well, I gotta make it full screen.
Oh yeah, let's pull us down for a second.
And this is what William Cooper in the starts Behold the Pale Horse. Basically, William Cooper's whole journey as a conspiracy, I guess, master all started when he saw a UFO while he was in the Navy. and
There it goes.
in the Bermuda. There you go. In the Caribbean run. And he saw it come out of the water. And he talks about it's the first chapter of Behold the Pale Horse, is him talking about that.
Yeah, he talks quite a bit about.
He was big into like a lot of the UFOs stuff. But there you go. There's something he would have loved to see this. That's for sure. So again, as far as the moon landing footage and what happened with the moon, did we go to the moon? Did we not? Those debriefings were from, I think, some of the later, right? They were like Apollo 17, Apollo 16 or something.
Yep.
So they were from some of the later trips. What's usually discussed is Apollo 11, the first trip, and which I still think just looks really fake, I gotta say. And
I think it is.
So I don't know. I'm down with the whole that was filmed by Kubrick, but also again, hearing these other things, it does sound like they might have been on the moon. So at least those later ones, and probably, I don't know, maybe the first one. Again, I don't know if we're gonna solve that riddle ever, but at very least, the briefing sounded like there was some shit on the moon. So,
yeah.
I mean, that also might be why they never went back either. But
and real quick before we end this part, the other thing I forgot to talk about was that they also, in those NASA recordings, and I highly recommend everybody listen to them. There's only 3 that they put out in the third tranche. Go to the Department of War and then go to UFO tab, and it will have a third tranche. You'll click it, and you'll see those videos at the very end. And he talks about how on the other side of the moon, the dark side of the moon that doesn't ever face the Earth. Okay, this is what they found. I don't know all the technical names, so bear with me. But there is a big, big crater apparently. And when they do the sonar, it's not sonar, it's the electromagnetic sensing. They found that 2 poles are coming like this and dipping right into where that giant crater is. And also there's a big giant stone, the same stones they're talking about, the black matrix rock, but they said it's massive. And so amazing to listen to, and just stuff that we've never been told, so it was really, really exciting. So I don't know. We'll see. I think the whole thing with NASA going back out there and those things, I do believe the truth will be told to us, but let's just say I don't think that NASA has been forthcoming to the American public at all, as also with our military and the black operations and the CIA. So we'll see how that goes. But I am very excited with Trump and, even people in Congress, Tim Burchett, Anna Luna, everybody out there that's been working so hard for the truth. That's what I want. And that's what I'm excited for. So, yeah,
I think it's fun. This is part of the fun side of the administration, getting stuff like this. And again, I don't know, me personally, I'm kind of a fence sitter with some of the moon stuff, but I love alien disclosure. I love space. I love just the different things, seeing different pictures from the Hubble telescope and stuff. I've always geeked out over that sort of stuff over the course of my life. So it's fun to see. I'll take everything they can throw at us. And there's been a lot of new UFO videos directly being released by the White House. And I believe they're getting ahead of something. I think, well, we know they've talked about, right, one of the fail-safe things to go into, one of the operations would be a fake alien invasion. And maybe not even necessarily fake, right? And they've had a lot of them. I think COVID was a salvage plan. I think they've had, and I think the Trump administration has been preparing. What do we do? How do we deal with each one? And so the fact that they're declassing a lot of this stuff tells me that they had probably gotten word down the line that this was being worked on, and they're going to flat tire it. And I think if you look, the thing that kicked it all off was when Obama specifically said that aliens were real.
Yeah.
Right? He said they were straight up real.
The guy interviewing, he goes, okay, one question, Obama. Are aliens real? He goes, they're real, but they're not here. Yeah. And they're definitely not at Area 51. That's literally what he said.
Right. Yeah. Right. So you say they're the real. And so I think when they saw that, they said, all right, here we go. Start declassing, because they're getting ready to do something. And and this will be a way to have more of a soft landing. This way they don't catch us off guard with it all. But I mean, I've always known aliens are real and UFO. There's so many freaking UFO videos out there. To say that everyone has been fake, there's like 10,000 UFO videos. There's paintings from like the Renaissance with UFOs in them. So it's like clearly we've been visited on this planet an awful lot. So what it is, who they are, how many of them are hostile, how many of them are not. I think that's the stuff that needs to be figured out.
Yes.
And
the true history and all that.
Goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. And yeah, guys, there's so much unknown, obviously, but it's just cool to have a president that's actually doing that. I've heard many presidents say they want to declassify things and they never did, you know. Here we go. So, and real quick about the orbs, since I've watched every single video they put out now, I'd say out of all 3 tranches, 80% of the video is orbs. They're just the glowing energy orbs.
So I wonder if that's just the light coming off the craft, or
they're either they either theorize it's an energy field around a craft. That's the one theory. And then the other theory is that they're like energy beings. Yeah. So I don't know. Again,
who knows?
It's just that they can't read them with the regular radar systems, and they're catching them on very highly sophisticated, improved radar systems. And it's just something that they've never seen before. So yeah, it's pretty wild, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
Be out there watching.
I think it's cool. I don't know what to make of it either. I don't know all the answers. People go so many different directions with the space stuff. So, but I think it's a lot of fun. Also, too, is I guess I'll mention this quick before we wrap up here. An announcement right before UFC Freedom 250, bringing us back down to earth. Rao, is that President Trump? They did sign a preliminary peace deal, where they're going to sign on Friday. Memorandum of understanding, if you will. The Strait of Hormuz is open. The freaking stock market is off to the races. If you guys haven't, go check your 401ks. They're looking pretty nice. I'll tell you that much. Now, there is a 60-day period that's establishing to figure out Tehran's nuclear program. And obviously, this part of the deal is they're not going to be able to support terrorist proxies. And the efforts to build a nuclear weapon, and no more, man. They can't do that. So, and I'm sure Iran will make its case over the course of his next 60 days. But for the most part, I feel pretty confident in this. And it sounds pretty cool what's going on. I was possibly, if you could imagine this, maybe they might even one day bring an embassy back to Iran. We haven't had an Iranian embassy 47 years.
Oh, wow.
That'll be down the line if that happens. It'll probably be 48 years time in between if that ever does happen. But obviously that'll bring up normalization and talks, and maybe bring Iran to the world stage where they're not such shitty pieces of shit. And so it took out the Ayatollah, which was awesome. As far as people who follow the Q post, we always knew Iran was going to be a thing. And weren't sure how it was going to happen. I don't think they wanted it to have to go down like this. I think they would have loved to negotiate a deal and have it done with. And it just, the best laid plans of mice and men. So it had to come to this, but it seems like the beginning of the end for the Iran war. And so, obviously, we'll wait to see when it's finally fully done, which most likely, I think it's going to be in about 2 months. And that'll be great. And then we'll get to make fun of all the people who called it a forever war. It's like, what's the criteria for a forever war? I would imagine at least a couple years, right? Before you could call something a forever war. They were calling it forever war 60 seconds after it happened. So
yeah,
there is that. But that's the only reason I want to end. I just want to be able to make fun of those people. That's the best. No, obviously, I want to end for much different reasons, but also too because it's just going to be great for the world. It'll be great for the people of Iran. It'll be great for Iran itself, and it'll be great for everyone around it. If you can the idea of bringing true peace to this region is massive. Now, I want to go through really quick, also having to do with this, is why all this is happening in the first place, why the Q drops and Trump were very, I guess, motivated to have Iran on their radar, while they were talking about them in 2017, while Trump was talking about them in 2015, been talking about Iran since the beginning. He's been talking about ending the Ayatollah's terror campaign since he started running. But it's all about the JCPOA. It's all about the Iran deal, dude. The Iran deal is funny. You know, we know sort of differently, but when Trump first started running, Don Jr. said that the moment that made him run was when they signed the Iran deal. And they signed it in 2015. The Q posts, they say in January of 2018, been planned for 3 years. 3 years takes you to January of 2018. So I think this is what put a lot of people on the path, because we all know that Iran's been the boogeyman for decades and decades. Iran and North Korea. And people have made the montages. Iran's 2 weeks from a nuke, right?
Yes.
They've been saying it since the 90s. And it's funny, but guess what's not funny? The Obama administration tried to make that a reality, and they were going to, especially if Hillary got in. Iran was going to complete their nuke program and nuke somebody. This is what they were working towards. So while everyone's like, they've been saying that since the 90s, these people were working to make that a reality. And thanks to JCPOA, or I'll just call it the Iran deal, that was going to be a reality, whether we want it or not. It's part of the 16-year plan. Okay. Now, I want to show a Q post first, because this is one where they talk about Iran and other things. Now, let me open it over here. So this post, it starts off talking about 9/11. So this is one of the posts that got me to look into 9/11. This is the post that made me think, oh man, a 9/11 too? Early on, 2017. So for those of you who are here because you like my documentary Codex 9/11, or even my earlier digs into 9/11 from 2019 and 20, this is what started it. Q post 154, talking about who financed 9/11, who was bin Laden's handler, Jalal and Haqqani network. Why was the CIA tasked to hunt down, capture Osama bin Laden? Does all sound familiar? You guys all know the answers to this now because of Codex 9/11. Why not military intelligence? If we found Osama bin Laden and eliminated security, why would we immediately kill him and not take him alive? Duh. That was this craziest thing. Even in real time, I remember thinking, like, you just threw him in the ocean? What? Or even just the fact that you just killed him? It's the biggest source of intel you could ever have. Why would you not take him alive, right? And trying to extract other possible terrorist level events? This is and then they say this: perhaps someday people will understand they had a plan to conduct another mass extinction level event. Okay, and this to me is what I believe they're talking about when with all the Iran posts, and there are a ton of posts about Iran and uranium. Why did they get them uranium? I think that they were looking to have another mass extinction event. I think Iran was going to nuke someone, and it was going to kick off the World War III, and that would be the end. And look what they talk about right next: World War I and World War II, orchestrated and planned by select families. Fantasyland. Remember, the more people there are, the more power do people have. Why do Democrats push for gun control directly after every tragic incident? Because they're desperately trying to disarm the American populace. Okay, so that always stuck out to me, that post. Now, when it makes more and more sense, obviously, when you start looking into the Iran deal. And let's see. Let me pull up my notes here because again, this is why I think this is what kicked the Q plan into high gear.
Yeah.
And I think they had been talking about it, but obviously this is what made it all real. So we made it real for Trump, made it real for everyone. The Iran nuclear deal gave Iran permission to be allowed to begin buying large quantities of uranium for Russia. And that's not talked about a lot. In the deal, it allows them to start buying from Russia. So from 2015, when that deal was signed, to 2018, when Trump withdrew from the JCPOA, Iran was able to stockpile nearly 400 metric tons of yellow cake uranium.
Ooh.
Okay, they just immediately began buying it all. The deal also unfroze $150 billion in assets, which that's where they got the cash. They unfroze their money. They gave them permission to buy the uranium from Russia and then unfroze $150 billion in cash. What did they do? That's what they needed. They allowed them to finance and purchase and expand this program. It also allowed Iran to keep over 5,000 centrifuges running at Natanz. Okay, this is their power plant, and this is where they did their research, preserving their industrial base, teams of scientists, and technical expertise. The deal permitted Iran to conduct R&D, research and development, on more advanced centrifuges. Centrifuges are what's used to enrich the uranium, okay, such as models IR2M, IR4, IR5, IR6, IR7, and IR8. So they immediately began working on better centrifuges to enrich their uranium, allowed by the deal, allowed them continue to do it, allowed them to keep their a whole bunch of centrifuges running and that's it allowed them to keep their scientists. It unfroze money for them to buy 400 metric tons of uranium, yellow cake uranium from Russia, which again, it also allowed them to start doing. They were not allowed to do it. They were sanctioned just before that, like a couple of years before that. They were getting sanctioned because they were talking about how they had reached 20% enrichment on the uranium. Okay. Power plants need like 3 to 5% enrichment to the uranium for them to work. That's it. 20% is a really hard to reach, and that's considered the milestone. After that, getting from 20 to the 90 for the weapon is much easier. Believe it or not, even though it's a 70% difference, it's much easier than reaching 20%, and that is considered the milestone. Iran in 2013 had just announced that they had reached 20% enrichment, and they were sanctioned, all these sanctions because of it. Okay. And then, so they brag about reaching 20%. They get all these international sanctions, and the Obama administration immediately begins talking with them about this deal, which then finally went through 2014, finally gets finalized in 2015, which gives them permission to do all this stuff and to get, what do you need to really work on this? You need better centrifuges, and you need your raw yellow cake uranium to work with. Okay. So immediately, once we pulled out, Trump got in and was like, pull this out of the friggin' JCPOA. And what happened? Just months later, Iran started installing thousands of all these advanced centrifuges. So that means they had been developing, which they were allowed to, but that they had also been building them, which they weren't allowed to, and stockpiling components, possibly whole machines, the entire time the deal was active. So the second it wasn't active, they put these on and they begin working on it. All right. And then by now, when we went in, they had reached 60% enrichment. They're literally actually on the doorstep of a nuke, not some freaking clip from 90s, for real. Thanks to the Obama administration, thanks to the Iran deal. Okay. Wow. So once you hit the critical thing of 20%, right, which happened right before the Iran deal, they only needed 3 things to take the program to the next level. Tons of yellow cake uranium for the feedstock, advanced, more efficient centrifuges, and the unfrozen assets and cash to fund it all. all three of which were provided by the freaking Iran deal, by the Obama administration. Okay, so they had built up 440 kilogram stockpile of 60% enriched uranium. That's enough for around 10 nuclear warheads. Okay, that's why we're in Iran, and not because of the Jews, not because of all this stuff, because it's something that pretty much probably kicked off the whole Q operation. It definitely is one of the big inspirations for Trump to run for president, and it's most likely saved the world from actual World War III. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff. I don't know why they don't talk more about what was in the Iran deal, because that is like the absolute crux of it. They did talk about the Iran deal a lot in the Q drops, okay? And they talked about Iran and North Korea being boogeymen and being used to terrorize the world as deep state proxies a lot, all right? So, again, I'm sure he wished it would have went the North Korea way, but it went this way. They went sideways, and they were cocky, and they were literally talking about they had enough enriched 60% uranium, a stockpile for 10 nuclear weapons. And again, 60% to 90% is a click. It's almost nothing in the enrichment world. And especially they have a whole bunch of thousands of advanced centrifuges now. So that has all been destroyed, and they've been sent back down from before that. And now they're going to talk. And it looks like the world may have been saved from World War III.
Man, I agree with you 100%. I've told you before how I said I think it's interesting because it kind of connects to the orb thing a little bit. You remember in New Jersey when all those drones were flying, and they were drones that nobody knew who the drones were. And these were not UFOs, they were drones, okay? But the interesting thing is the drones brought the orbs, but I think it's because the drones that were being used, this was during the Biden administration, the Biden administration, they may have had some nuclear something, because that's apparently what they're drawn to. Okay.
Yes. Remember there was a missing nuke too or something?
Okay. Right. Yeah. They're always drawn to nukes, supposedly. No, you're right. You're right. They all say that there's, and a lot of the declassified documents I'll just reference real quick is they have been known not only with our nuclear weapons, but over also in Russia to turn them on and arm them and disarm them. These are orbs. So, take that as what you will, but you can research that. But that being said, when those drones, and there was a lot of them, were hovering over in the coast area, I thought to myself, I wonder if there's a lot more going on here. If there isn't some kind of, no, look, I don't think Biden was anything good. I think he was allowing the deep state to do their final kill. But the thing is, there was something to do with those drones and something happening. And when Trump got in, and the night before that attack in Iran, this is the one thing that always caught my eye, was they were having a party there at Mar-a-Lago, I believe, or it may have been the other place. Okay. And it was wonderful and it was fun. And the next thing we hear is in the middle of the night, there was the strike. And to me, I thought, I think he prevented something. Like there is, and again, you guys know, there's so much that we don't know that's going on national security wise. So I do believe he saved us from a nuclear weapon 100%. I don't know when it was happening, but I've seen inklings that I think the public has no idea how close we've been to something bad. And thank God for President Trump. One day the world will know. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
Man, that shows you how Obama really did cause that to happen. And I pray that these investigations will lead to that as well. Because we pretty much armed them.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's a lot. Man, there's so much going on, huh?
Yeah, it's wild.
It's so much, dude. There's the indictments going on one end. There's America kicking ass over here. There's taking care of national and foreign threats. And dude, they have a lot of things just protecting and propelling America at the same time. This is going to be considered one of the most consequential presidencies ever. both of his terms combined. With a little Joe Biden sandwich, just to remind everyone of how bad it could be in the middle.
A little auto pin there in the middle.
Well, guys, it's been fun. It's been real. We're gonna start wrapping up. I do want to say shout out to Pill, man. Pill's been killing it with the gold pills over there. We started off right off the bat before we even start with Darla L saying it's good to be here in good company. Thank you both. Amen. Red Gun 51, 117 gold pills, top cack. Roy Stones and Bones gifting the cookie. Cheers, buddy. And Jay with the shades. So, man, I need a pair of shades to put on after that. Hogleg with cookie. Sean Joe gifting some cans. Hogleg with can. Rise Attire. What's up, brother? Gifted the ship. Freaking beautiful. Says we're over here loving this show, guys. So necessary to go over all these wins together and all these signs that we are truly entering into a new golden age. God bless you two bright, high vibe Patriots. We love you guys. We love you guys too. Well, yeah, I love it. Adrian and I have talked in the past about how we both met the loves of our lives through this movement. So it's pretty cool. And we also talk about like Red Pill and Lisa too, because the three of us, we all met each other through all this stuff. So it's like the Great Awakenings also bringing together hearts.
That's so true. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. It's the vibes. Like what they were saying. It's the vibes, man. You vibe with each other, right? Oh, man. Thank you guys so much. It's really good. And Adrian, if you're still out there, I do want to have your wife on soon. I got to schedule something. I'm bad with scheduling, but she put out a really awesome banger video that I would love to show on my show. So, or little bits of it, of course. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And everybody on Pilled, over on my Rumble, Brad's Rumble. I really appreciate it. And it's just a big family, honestly. MAGA is awesome. And we are making America great again. I gotta be like that announcer. Let's go.
Oh, Bruce Bochy. Dude, I think he gets better with age, man. It's like, no! Like, how do you do that? I love it. We also got Observe and Learn over here with 100 gold pills. Says thanks for a wonderful show. Man, thank guys for hanging out, man. So it was a party. And Filter Dog 1 says Antifa is mad. 15 of their comrades were arrested. Sent this video from St. Paul. Yeah, I want to play this. Let's watch this cold because it looks like some fun was happening. It says chaos and unrest erupt outside of the federal courthouse. And just say everything like we're supposed to. In St. Paul, as supporters of arrested Antifa agitators gathered during court proceedings. Meanwhile, ICE.gov and federal officers stand their ground, taking a no-nonsense approach to anyone attempting to breach the security perimeter. I'm glad the additional $70 billion in funding is already being put to good use. So let's check this out. I wish I could put like Benny Hill music to this or some shit.
Brad always loves this kind of stuff. Oh, let's go.
I love it.
You spread it. Don't you dare touch that building.
Yeah, fascism now is not allowing illegal aliens to enter your country. What fascists?
Spray them all.
Yeah. Look at these absolute losers.
Uncivilized. They're uncivilized.
You fucking fascist Nazi fuck!
Nazis. That's Nazism.
They fucking threw this at people's heads.
Right there.
Inside.
I can't believe someone stopped us from being vandalists.
I know.
That's never happened before.
Feel good moment of the day. Thanks, Filter Dog. Much appreciated. Yeah. And also, S&G says, thank you, Brad and Abby. We love you guys.
We love you.
Absolutely freaking love you all. And again, also shout out to Woke Societies and Red Pill for rating the show. Much love, guys. Now I'm going to take us out here with this is a song I was working with. I have about 15 versions of this, but this is the one I finally got it the way I wanted with Suno. about coming straight from the Q drops, talking about our friends in Iran. So I felt it was timely. I made it a couple weeks ago. I never did nothing with it. So we're gonna lead you out with it here. We hope you guys had a great time. Tell your friends and feel free to share this anywhere you like.
Much love, guys.
Love you guys. Take care. Comb here.
Take care, comb here.
Peace.
Next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of shining light. You patriots, you patriots. Disorder, we have initiated fail-safes to safeguard the public from the primary fallout slated to occur upon the arrest. Confirmation to the public of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not be openly accepted. You patriots, you patriots. Would it blow your mind if I told you Obama has been to North Korea and perhaps they're now hiding in his admin slow their nuclear capabilities? Who feeds North Korea with strategic intel? Iran. What deal was done with Iran under Obama? You patriots. What does this have to do with leaking? What if it can be verified? No source stories were in fact made up. The wormhole goes deep. You can paint the picture based solely on the questions asked. How did Iran obtain uranium? Why did Barack Obama send billions in cash and wire to Iran? Why the cash? Was the hostage a cover? For what could the cash be handed off? How many planes carried it into Iran? You patriots! You patriots! 10 days, darkness, scare tactics, MSM, Democrats falling, Republicans removed, Saudi Arabia to the United States, to Asia, into the EU strike. Where is POTUS? Why is this relevant? Military operations, operators in US, no white, the Great Awakening.